I'm a selfish knitter, not gonna lie. Hello, I'm Kristen, also known as Voolenvine, here on my YouTube channel where I chat about what I'm knitting, what I'm sewing, what I'm making, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down this week. And as always, I'm so happy that you're taking some time out of your day to chat about all those fun things with me. And this week I have yet another knitting heavy episode for you. No sewing to speak of, so I hope you guys are okay with that. But that said, gather around, grab a cup of something, and let's get into it. Because I've got quite a bit to share with you this week. But first, as always, I just have a couple of announcements to share with you. The first being that we have our History Make-Along that is currently underway. That is our year-long make-along where we're all endeavoring to make something historically inspired. So whatever time period or era you happen to be drawn to prior to the 1950s, make something inspired by it, be it knitting, crochet, embroidery, weaving. Again, whatever your craft is, you're welcome to join. And that is running all the way until March 1st, 2021. So there's still plenty of time to join. And there are two ways to join. The first being is to hop on over to the Voolenvine Ravelry group where there's a thread dedicated to this make-along. All you have to do is join in the chatter, share your projects, photos, whips, links. Just join in the general chatter, and come March 1st, I will lock that thread and choose a random winner to win a giveaway prize, which the prize is still TBD, so watch this space. And if Ravelry is not your jam, you can always hop on over to Instagram and use the hashtag #HistoryMAL. Same rules apply, just share your makes using that hashtag, and come March 1st, 2021, I will choose a random winner from there. If you want to participate in both, that's completely fine. Double dipping is very welcome. So yeah, definitely check that out. One more announcement before I get into what I've been making this week. As usual, this channel is sponsored by the one and only Skillshare, which is an online learning community platform where you can learn pretty much anything. I say this every week. I absolutely love Skillshare. If there's anything that I need to learn in the moment, be it a skill or technique when it comes to knitting or sewing or photography or editing this here YouTube video, I hop on Skillshare where I take a quick crash course in learning those skills, and it's just saved my butt so many times when I just need to learn a little snippet of knowledge in a pinch. It's on Skillshare, 9 out of 10. And if that's something that interests you, click on the link in the description box below and you'll get to try Skillshare for 2 weeks absolutely free on yours truly. You're welcome, and thank you, Skillshare. All right, my friends, let's talk finished objects, because I'm sure you could tell already I'm wearing an FO. Yes, my friends, my Nurtured sweater by Andrea Mowry is completely finished. It is blocked, it is photographed, it's on Ravelry, it's on the channel, so it is officially done in my book. But anyway, yeah, this is again the Nurtured sweater by Andrea Mowry. The yarn that I used is Gilead's yarn. I'm not sure if that's the correct brand, the main brand name, but this is their Gilead line. I will put all the information in the down bar so you know what I'm talking about. But I really enjoyed working on this. This was such a fun, quick, simple knit, and yeah, I'm kicking myself for not finishing it sooner. I'm just so drawn to the new and shinies that this kind of got left to the wayside for just a little bit. But I picked it up about a month ago, and so glad it's done and off the needles, and I get to enjoy it now. And it has nice, lovely long sleeves, just the way I like it. And I will stand up so you can see. And as you can see, it is a cropped sweater. And I know this is a dark sweater, so I hope you can see the stitch definition in here, but it's just this really lovely, waffly, is that, can I call it that? I guess so. Like a nice little waffly slip stitch happening here. And again, it was knit from the bottom up, which is typically not the way I prefer to knit my sweaters just because of size. And even though I did knit it longer than the pattern suggested, I kind of wish it was just a little bit longer. Like my waist, the dip of my waist is right here, which it falls perfectly, but I personally wish I would have knit this just a little bit longer. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the crop. Especially because it's so wide over here. If I wear a tank top under here, it just sticks out like this, which I will be honest, I'm not 100% in love with that look, but I think just as a sweater to chuck on over a, you know, a blouse or a dress, or jeans, which I'm wearing jeans. I go through phases, guys. My go-to style is just chucking a dress over some black leggings and some boots. That is my go-to look. But sometimes I go through a jeans wearing phase. And right now I happen to be going through a jeans wearing phase. I don't know, it's my own personal brand of crazy. And I especially like the way this sweater looks over said jeans. I digress. So anyway, long story short, all that to say that I love the finished object. This is a great pattern. I would definitely knit it again, but just making a few tweaks here and there. It's just a little too boxy for my personal style, but at the end of the day, it's just a great sweater to chuck on over a dress or some jeans and call it a day. It's a very casual, goes with everything type of sweater. I don't think it's gonna get as much wear as my Felix pullover, which is a sweater I love. I think that sweater gets the most wear out of all of my knits, or has been getting the most wear out of all of my knits lately. But yeah, but otherwise, I'm happy. It's done, it's off the needles, it's cozy, and what could be better? Next up is a new cast on, because, you know, once you finish knitting one sweater, it just makes sense to cast on another immediately. And this is going to be a little controversial, I think. Or not controversial, but I'm gonna get comments. I'm gonna get judged. I am going to get comments from the peanut gallery in the comments below. But, you know, may the chips fall where they may. This is how I roll, and, you know, make of it what you will. But anyway, Dennis's sweater. All right, let's have some real talk here. I cast on, at the beginning of the pandemic, I cast on a sweater for Dennis, a pattern by Martin Storey. I'm already blanking on the name of the pattern, but I cast it on. I'll pop a photo of that sweater, the pattern here, so you know what I'm talking about. Now, at first glance, this pattern is very simple in construction. It's a basic raglan sweater, knit stockinette, back and forth. A no-brainer, right? However, my issue with this pattern, first being that it is knit in pieces. And at first I was like, okay, I can handle that. But the instructions were relatively cryptic, as I mentioned. And, you know, it just took too much brain power. And with everything going on with COVID and life, and I just wanted a simple knit. Is that too much to ask for? So, you know, I hit a roadblock with it, with the decrease instructions. I didn't really understand what they meant. So I don't know. I didn't want to be fussed with it. So I decided to table the project for a little bit, let it marinate, have a palette cleanser project, and come back to it. That was the plan. However, several projects later, I really just don't feel like going back to working on it. I will be totally honest. I am done with that project. I am not going to return to it. I'm not going to finish it. Not only because of the pattern itself just wasn't jiving with me or gelling with me. The yarn, I wasn't excited. It's a beautiful yarn. It feels great. It's going to be super warm and snuggly, but I don't think it's Dennis's color. I don't know. Like I look at Dennis and I look at the yarn. I look at Dennis and I look at the yarn. I'm like, no. So all arrows just point to no, frog the thing. So I'm frogging the thing, and I cast on a new sweater for Dennis. The man wants a sweater. I will give him a sweater. By golly, I will find a way to give him a sweater. He may have to wait 10 years, but one day he will get a sweater. But in the meantime, I'm going to attempt to knit him a sweater by Hanukkah or Christmas. And I've since cast on a new sweater for him. So yeah, I went back to Ravelry and did some research, and what I was looking for was something super easy, mindless, easy to construct, and I stumbled on Joji Locatelli's basic raglan. So here's what I have so far. I am just about ready to separate the sleeves, and I cast this on, I believe, over the weekend, so making quite a bit of progress. And I like the fact that this is knit in the round. It's completely seamless, and it's, yeah, just pure stockinette, no crazy decrease instructions. The pattern is incredibly clear as a bell. I am happy with that. So yeah. This is looking very promising. So the yarn is actually from Stash. This is yarn that I purchased for myself from, I think, Webb's online store. I thought it was black, but it turned out to be this, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see it. In person, it's actually this very dark navy teal blue, I wanna say. It's really, really nice yarn. And that yarn is The Fiber Co. I love the Fiber Co. yarn. They have such lovely yarn, but when I purchased this, it was just not my color. So yeah, this is their Lore base, which is, let me see, 100% Kent lamb's wool, sourced and produced in England, and it is so lovely. So that's what it looks like in the skein, and I have 4 skeins of this, so this should be enough to knit the husbeast a sweater. So yes, did I swatch? I did not swatch because, again, I am using Kristen's unscientific method of non-swatching, where if you've tuned into previous episodes, you know it's like where I go on Ravelry and just do a little research, look at other projects, the same project, and see what other needles other people have used and kind of do a relatively unscientific averaging and go with the middle ground needle size used. So again, I'm neither a tight nor loose knitter. I'm somewhere in the middle. So I just tend to go with the most used needle sizes somewhere in the middle. Again, it probably makes no sense, but that's my own personal brand of crazy, TM. But yeah, so here we are. I have a good feeling that this is going to fit because, I mean, look at this project. I did not swatch with it, and it fits me fine. Like in the bust area, it's just a little boxy than I anticipated, but it does fit in all the right places that it needs to. So, you know, not complaining. It works for me. It might not work for you, but that's how I roll. So I'm trying to think what else I want to say about this other than I am going to endeavor to have this done by Hanukkah or Christmas. I'm not telling Dennis that I'm knitting it for him. I was debating whether or not I wanted to tell you guys that I was knitting it because that puts a lot of pressure on me. And once I know I have to come through with something like this, I suddenly just don't want to do it anymore. But it's like knitting a body sock. It's just around and around and around. I can do that. I can do that. Again, I'm just about ready to separate for the sleeves, and then it's just going to be pure stockinette in the round for the body, and then I'll be on Sleeve Island. So I think I can do it. Yeah, because the other pattern, that was just, I don't know. I'm sure you can relate. To be honest, I think Dennis is going to like this sweater so much better because it is just 100% lamb's wool, whereas the Rowan felted tweed, that had some alpaca content in there. So if you're familiar with wearing alpaca, you know how heavy and warm it can be. It can be quite hot. So I think this is a better bet than something with alpaca in it. And he did express that he liked this colorway because, again, when I purchased this yarn, the colorway wasn't what I was expecting. So immediately I thought, I'll just knit Dennis a sweater with it. And I showed the yarn to him and he liked it. So again, he doesn't know that he's getting this. It's going to be a surprise. So fingers crossed it all works out well. But yeah, for those of you who have been hounding me about knitting Dennis a sweater, I'm trying. I'm doing the best that I can. Okay, guys, I'm a selfish knitter, not gonna lie. So this is, I'm working on it. And now, my friends, we have some tales from the dark side. Oh yes, if you haven't guessed already, I've been crocheting. I am so determined to make doilies, you guys. I don't know what it is about them, but I'm determined. And instead of embarking on or tackling a big doily project, I decided to scale down and go small because, you know, I like to bite off more than I can chew sometimes, and doily making is generally no exception. So I found this really awesome pattern. It's called the Vintage Coasters pattern by Anaelia Handmade. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but it's a free pattern. And let me show you what it looks like. So I made 3 so far. These actually, yeah, guys, look how pretty. These are so pretty, you guys. And yeah, surprisingly really quick to whip up. So I made 3 of them. Here's what they look like up close. And I still have to block and starch them because I think that's what you do. You block out doilies, you pin them and make them all flat and nice, and then you starch them so they hold their shape. I still have to do that. I'm planning to make 6 of these so I can gift them to a friend. She's not a knitter. I hope she doesn't watch this podcast. She knows that I podcast or record. I have a YouTube channel, but I don't think she watches. But yeah, I'm just whipping this up as a little holiday thank you gift for her. But yeah, so again, really, really simple to whip up. I made one out of thicker yarn just to get acclimated with the process of crocheting this particular pattern. But I am following a chart, which I'm getting the knack of. It's actually not as cryptic or rocket science as I was led to believe, but I'm getting the hang of it. So I think after crocheting six of these, I can probably graduate to something a little more advanced. And again, these are super simple to crank out. I think one of these takes me about under an hour, and it's really just single crochet stitch, double crochet stitch, and slip stitches. It's not at all complicated. And again, it's a free pattern, so I definitely recommend it. I'll link to it in the description box below. The yarn that I'm using is Knit Picks Curio, which is actually thread. It's cotton thread, and it just has like this really nice sheen to it. It almost looks like silk. It almost looks like it has silk content, but it doesn't. It's just 100% cotton. And the needle that I'm using is by Tulip, number 6, which is a 1.00 millimeter needle. Super tiny head. So yeah, but honestly, I'm getting the swing of it. It's becoming the more doilies that I make, the easier it's becoming. So there's that. Definitely recommend it. This is, it has a really nice price point. I have a bunch of other colors in my stash, but I figured for my friend as a gift, white or off-white was probably the way to go. So yeah, that's what it looks like up close. And yeah, I think you get quite a bit of yardage in here too. So yay! And those are all the projects that I'm working on this week, my friends. No sewing to speak of this week because I am still working on the muslin for my coat that I'm making. So nothing really to write home about there, but I do have a little bit of a review to share with you. I don't generally like doing reviews. I don't know, it's just not something I enjoy for some reason. I know a lot of you love reviews. I mean, when it comes to camera tech and gear, I love reviews. But this week, because many of you have been in my DMs, you've been emailing me, texting me, letting me know, crying from the rooftops, Kristen, have you checked out the latest issue of Interweave Knits? Yes, my friends, I have. My wonderful mother-in-law, hi Carol, generously gifted me a subscription a while back, and this popped into my mailbox and I squeed with joy. Yes, I have seen it, I have read through it, and if you're wondering why, the theme of Interweave's Winter 2021 issue is Victorian Revival. Yeah, you guys. I don't know if they watch the channel. Hello if you are, I'm honored. But, as you know, if you're new here, I am obsessed with the Victorian era. I love all things historical, Victorian, Edwardian. I'm here for it. So when I saw this in my mailbox, I did a little happy dance. And while I'm thrilled that they decided to do a Victorian themed issue, it's a beautiful issue. The photography is stunning in here. I will be completely honest. Unpopular opinion. Not many patterns in here strike my fancy. It's not really my style, but they did a wonderful job giving an intro to all things Gothic, where it comes from, books, literature, Gothic themes in knitting. They even mentioned Jane Eyre in here. Oh, so again, like the photography in here is beautiful. The content is beautiful. I mean, if anything, this pattern right here, the Mary Shelley's shawl, I could totally see myself in. So it just looks like a giant undertaking and a lot of mohair, and I don't foresee myself casting something like this on anytime soon, but I still love the aesthetic and the vibe of it. It's just so beautiful. And there are a lot of pretty patterns in here. It's just a lot of it I don't think would really, jive with my personal wardrobe, but I really appreciate like the aesthetic and everything. This shawl too just seems really, really lovely. This is this is Lucy Westernra's wrap by Susanna IC. So that's really beautiful as well. Yeah. So a lot of the shawls I could see myself knitting. This is the Thrush Cross shawl by Jennifer Miller Comstock. So this is a really beautiful shawl in here. Yeah. Now this is very impressive, the Miss Ayres cape. However, I don't see it being practical for my wardrobe, but I appreciate the construction, the texture. I'm sure there are many of you out there that can pull something like this off. It's not really my style. They have a lot of beautiful fingerless mitts in here. Like, these are really beautiful. So pretty. If you are into all things Gothic or Victoriana, this is definitely something to check out. It's just a beautiful issue to pour over and read through. Yeah, so even though a lot of the patterns in here don't really speak to me at the moment, I've definitely enjoyed reading through it. Just a really well put together issue, if I do say so myself. So definitely check that out. Again, this is Interweave Knits Winter 2021. That said, I am gonna end things there. Thank you so much as always for hanging out with me. As always, if you haven't already and you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to like and subscribe down below. I put out a video for your viewing pleasure every week, with the exception of next week because it's Thanksgiving, but I will be back the following week. That said, until the next video, happy knitting, and I'll see you next time. Bye!